everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at the second town hall for 2023 high water preparation event. Really appreciate all of you coming out today. We have some great information to share with all of you, discussing all of that with you. My name is Caleb Cage. I brought on as high water preparation underway right now. I'm going to talk a little bit, very briefly, about some of the extraordinary measures that are underway this year as we're continuing snow runoff and snow melt and water runoff from the Sierra right now. As you all know, based on previous town hall, public reporting and public we are underway right now construction on the second tier structure on that work is underway right now, and preparation for weeks ahead on that. There's also construction on a berm that is around Carson Lake, main water runoff of the first weir, second weir. Through the Bureau of Reclamation, they've been continuing water out of reservoir forward, as well as controlling those water to make sure we have as efficient and effective water as possible. As I'm sure all of you know, there's a call center that has been established, as well as a that's been set up in order to field questions and comments, as well as sandbags that are together and provided right over here, actually, here, to the community. All of these measures, and again, they're extraordinary measures that have been underway, federal, state, county, and city partnership conversations, base, and the tribal government are here as well. And they are in addition to 17. Those are, as you know, first year. So those are the measures that I just mentioned. Those initial measures that were put in place are put in place effectively manage the water of the mountains from snow. What can you do? We ask that all of you look at your own situation, consult with your provider on whether or not your property would benefit from insurance. We ask for you to stay informed to determine whether or not sandbags can fall coordinate sandbags if you do. Continue to stay engaged. So with that, I will stop talking and turn it over to Worsley, Reclamation, about okay.
Thank you. So I'm Jack Worsley. I'm the area manager for Bureau of Reclamation out of Carson City. Got a pretty good idea what the snowpack is up there. We're about a 1.1 million acre feet, a lot higher than we had in 2017. And the question then becomes, how much of that are we going to see at LaHunt? And so we're guessing anywhere from 68 to 80% of that's going to come off. So roughly about 660,000 acre feet to 880,000 acre feet. We'll monitor it as it starts coming. We'll be able to establish that. We'll probably see the biggest flows end of May, 1st of June, and they will be big flows. And so, but we will continue to monitor that and track that. You know, we've inspected all the dams, the LaHunt Dam, the Carson Diversion Dam, all the facilities are in great shape. And so that water containment and water management, from a dam perspective, is not going to be a problem. But from what's going to come in and how it comes in, that's the big unknown. And so that's why we continue to draw down on Lahontan right now. We got about a little over 200,000 acre feet of storage space, but with numbers of 600,000 and 800,000 and the uncertainty of how that comes in there, this is where we get the risk of the unknown. That's the update I have for you all. And Jim?
Good afternoon, Jim Barbie. I'm the Churchill County Manager. I apologize, but in the meeting right before this, I lost my right contact. So I'm going to be reading and focusing on my notes, trying to read and focus on my notes. So you've kind of heard the actions that we're taking and kind of the forecast, which really hasn't changed from the last meeting that we held with everybody. We're going to have some new information that we provide kind of at the end of mine, and then I'm going to have an ask for you. But I think to start off to kind of frame where we're at, one of the big statements is, you know, there's no guarantee that the community will flood. There's no guarantee that there's the things we know and the things that we don't know. The unknown is a big part of the equation. We know how much snow's on the mountain, but we don't know time, and we don't know temperature. That's really the two key things that are going to influence how the lake feels. We're in really good shape. We've got, I think this morning, down to 86,000 acre feet in the lake that holds roughly around 300,000 acre feet. So we have room in the lake as we enter into this piece. But I think the message that we're really trying to get through to everybody is we are preparing to protect life and property. We would ask you in the community to do the same, to really evaluate. We're going to give you some tools to look at, and that's what they are. They're tools. They're not absolute to look at in terms of preparing for the reality that may be facing us. So some of the plans that we're pursuing here on the Emergency Operation Committee together, working as a group between the city and TCID and DOR and the county and the county commissioners. And I'm sure I left somebody out. Not are focused on, for example, the 3C complex that we're in now, utilizing this facility if we are caught in an emergency. The positive is if we are going to have flooding, it's going to be something that we're going to be able to forecast for the most part, but not in, you know, today relative to June. But we should have, at a minimum, 48 hours, kind of an idea of how the lake is filling and how it's going to come down. So it's not one of these kid that grew up in the South where you're waiting for that tornado warning deal to go off and you got, you know, 1 ear awake in the middle of the night. It's not that kind of situation. We're going to have some relative information as we move through summer and as we're tracking the flows and as things are moving forward. So that's why we have a great opportunity here for everybody to really look at your property, look at where your property is located, and start thinking about how you want to prepare for the possibility, not the inevitability. So the 3C, we've got 75,000 square feet here. We've got a tremendous amount of power. We've got emergency operations generator. Matter of fact, we got to test that out during the New Year's rodeo. Power went out and we never missed a beat. No one in here really knew that had happened. So we're in good shape. We're going to be able to look at, you know, if we are going to prepare for if we have folks that are going to be dislocated from their homes, having space in here where we can have temporary setup and temporary shelter to take care of folks. We have roughly 350 RV spots that we've laid out in the backside of the property last year as emergency response to the fires that were happening in the Sierras that didn't get utilized. Well, hey, good news, that's set up for us if that's necessary. With minimum of 48 hours of notice, out a call if you're in these areas and you have an RV. That's a lot better alternative than up on the concourse of the Rafter 3C. These are all things that we have available, preparing for, and we're hoping that you're modeling that. Same is true. Excuse me. Same is true for livestock. We have a tremendous amount of space here that we can bring livestock in if we have to do that. Yes, we may have some events going on here during that time period, and as we get close to that time period, and like I say, it's not something that we're not going to be able to forecast, we'll be able to move those events and cancel those events if necessary. Obviously, we're hoping that that's not the case either. So what we're going to provide for you that's going to be new information, and I apologize, we're supposed to be live streaming, but we weren't able, technology, right? We weren't able to get it to live stream, but this video will be uploaded on the YouTube channel as soon as we get done with the formal part of this. One of the things we're going to be looking at is basically flood maps. Now we've had on these are not new or a new idea. We've had on the website basically the FEMA floodplain maps, or on the county website. Those were done roughly in the 70s. We've been working 4 or 5 years for an update on those, and working through FEMA is a slow process. So the new ones haven't been approved by FEMA. We've got some temporary mapping that was done as we're preparing to look at updating those maps. So what we're actually going to share with you today is maps that we put together based on LiDAR flights that were done 3 or 4 years ago. And the LiDAR basically is the most accurate way that we can, in a volume, measure elevation, so it's like a topography map. I think we said it was within 1/10 of an inch that it could measure down into. But they're not perfect either, because what you see on the maps can be altered or changed based on if they were done 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Someone could have put in a berm here, someone could have done this, someone could have done that. Additionally, as flows increase, you could have debris that locates in one spot and changes kind of how things flow. So they really give you just a general idea of what different cubic feet per second flows would look like. So right now, as we talked about last time, we've got about 1,000 acre feet, not 1,000 CFS, cubic feet per second, flowing down the river. So 1,000. That's actually charted on the map. And you'll see there, that's the blue representation on the map. Then we have an additional 4 colors that represent 2,000 CFS, 3,000 CFS, 4,000 CFS, and 5,000 CFS, which we've never had flows over the dam at that level. Doesn't affect the dam at all. It's built to handle that. But you know, we've not had that in the river, and we've definitely not had it in the river when we've had homes that have been built down on the river. So that's basically what you're going to be looking at, is what those potential flows could look like. And so, and it's kind of hard to tell, but you can basically get a general idea. So it's not so much, is my house in the orange or is it in the red, or is it in the blue or is it in the green? And that's an absolute. There's going to be a lot of, there's no gray on the map, but there's a lot of gray in there. It's going to give you a general idea of what you should be prepared for. And big surprise, right? The closer you are to the river, the worse it is. So that kind of, you know, is the, not a surprise, but a reality. So with that, this is precautionary. This information is meant for you to prepare as we move forward. We were talking the May and June are where we're going to see those flows. So we're a month and a half out from that moment. We've been delivering sandbags to residents that have requested them down on the river. We have some community programs that are looking at helping folks that are over 60 years old place sandbags and put those in place, and I think that's coming up on the 22nd of April. So there's lots of things that we're trying to do to help people prepare, but we need you to help yourself prepare. Keep coming back to the websites, the county website, and the city website. Those are where we're going to have the most up-to-date information, not here, not waiting 2 weeks or 3 weeks till we put on a public town hall. Look at those daily. That's what things are changing. That's where you can also connect to, as the mayor mentioned at the last one, those TCID flow map or flow indicators, where you can see what kind of CFS is moving through not only the river, but you can see what's in the V line, basically where all the water that's coming out of the dam is going. We are creating an email also to be more helpful. So we have the cards that have the phone number on them, which we gave out last time, and I think we're going to have some of those to give out this time as well. But we just got a new email operational. It's real easy to remember, highwater23@churchillcountynv.gov. So any email with the county is churchillcountynv.gov, and this is just highwater23. And we'll have folks that are monitoring the email and reply back to you, and that could be anything from a question to, hey, are you aware that there's a big log in the bridge under 50 like we had a couple of weeks ago when the fire department came out and helped. And the other thing I would add is the sheriff's office has been fantastic, and I know they've been responding to a bunch of calls. But utilize the phone number that we're giving you and the phone number or the email that we're giving you for those things that aren't immediate emergencies. If there's an emergency, right, it's 911, right, Sheriff? But not everything's an emergency, right? So these guys are working hard. They're out there helping us, help you by keeping an eye out on the bridges and the dams, and the fire department's doing the same as well, and we really appreciate that. So try to not overwhelm them with things that you could probably send through the question line. But if it's an emergency, that's 911, and don't hesitate. That's what it's for. So with that, I think I've covered all my checkpoints, looking at it through fuzzy eyes. The key before I release you is this is modeling. This is computers taking topography maps and trying to make the best guesstimation. Everything ultimately that we're providing to you is trying to predict where we're at and what it's going to look like. None of it's inevitable. Again, I go back to the message, we're just trying to help you prepare yourselves, but nothing's guaranteed. We don't know what we don't know, but we're trying to share the best information that we have. These are maps that we got completed about a week and a half ago. While I've been talking to you, Ann has graciously been putting them up on the back of the bleachers. They're going to be uploaded to the county website and the city website. Allergies are getting me, sorry. At 4 o'clock, so you'll also at home be able to download those and kind of flip through them. And again, if you have questions, go ahead and email us or give us a call. But remember that these are generalities. There's no guarantees by hard colors and hard lines. This is just basically what the modeling would predict where the water would go at those different CFSs. Right now, for comparison, the blue is what's in the river now. And we have lots of mechanisms as the lake fills up to control. So this is only if we get in a situation where uncontrolled water is flowing over the top of the dam, right? Dam is fine. You can take lots of it, lots more than what we've modeled here. So with that, we're going to come up where you are, and we would release folks to, calm, cool, we got lots of time. Go behind the bleachers, take a look at the maps, and we'll be up there to discuss those and answer any questions with you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.